YouTubers, and welcome to the real news. I'm just going to make a short video about basically what's being shoved in the public's face. Like, just the media is actually shoving this information in the public's face, but still we sleep. Well, they sleep. So I'll just show you what's been going on. This was in the Financial Times today. Osborne sees no barrier for more QE. George Osborne has opened the door to new forms of quantitative easing by the Bank of England as concerns mount in the Treasury over the state of the economy. Speaking to journalists in Marseille, the Chancellor made it clear he saw no barriers to a second round of quantitative easing. And I've highlighted this bit: creating money to pump into the economy. That's all you need to basically read. I'll post a link for the rest, but all you need to see is creating money to pump into the economy. Enough said. I don't need to say anymore. Could you imagine if, well, obviously, like, George Osborne isn't the governor of the Bank of England, but it's more or less hit the nail on the head that they're going to be creating more money. But obviously, Mervyn King is the British version of Ben Bernanke, and could you imagine if someone like Ben Bernanke or I don't know, a member of the government or a member of Congress came out and said that plainly, the actual quantitative easing, because they call it flowers and buttercups creating whatever. They don't usually say the actual word quantitative easing, but in the UK they say it and no one here knows what it means, so they can get away with it and still the public sleep. So if you're wondering what to do with your paper money that's in the bank, then that's just obvious that you need to get some hard assets. Another thing quickly is about the pensions. I'll just play this little clip. Just obviously by the mass media. This is Sky News, i.e. Fox News, another Rupert Murdoch company. Pension age will rise to 67 sooner, warns MP. So I think they're going to raise the pension age. It's going to be 2020 originally. Now they're bringing it forward. I think it's going to be where is it? I can't remember. Could be as early as 2014 or 20, maybe even 2013. I can't remember. Yeah, it might be in this article. I'll just play this little clip.
To face up to these challenges, people in the private sector, people in the public sector, the challenge of the fact that we're all living longer, and that's a wonderful thing, but it means people have to work longer, it means people have to wait longer to take their pensions. My commitment that I've made directly to the unions in these talks, and I've made publicly, is yes, people have to work longer over time. That's a feature of the change in our country. We're asking people to contribute more to their pensions. But I want to get to a situation where at retirement, people get a pension which is just as good as the pension they get now. And that
contribute more, or just may as well just say keep pumping up the Ponzi scheme. Contribute more. Are you mad? Might just come out and say just keep the Ponzi scheme going, put more money in, so people right now that retire get their money, and then over the years people keep putting more money and more money, keep the Ponzi scheme going. Anyway, continue.
I think must be the right thing,
sure.
And especially to the millions of private sector workers who are listening, who sadly don't have any pension provision. I think it's important to say to them that we're going to use taxpayers' money as wisely as possible to ensure that public sector workers continue to get the very best pensions that we can afford.
Are you making arrangements as a government to deal with prolonged strikes, perhaps in the
riots, the coming riots?
Education area, amongst civil servants, amongst the fire service? Are you making practical arrangements there to cover those eventualities?
Yeah, we're going to get more riot police.
As you said, we had one-day strikes from some of the teaching unions and from one of the civil service unions in June, and we had contingency plans in place there, which I think worked pretty well in terms of maintaining the continuity of service in the civil service, of ensuring that our schools continue to function. So, of course, if it comes to that, we will be able to deal with it. But I share Dave Prentice's view that this must be very much the last resort, that it would not be responsible to go out on strike at a time when these discussions are still very much live.
OK. And mentioning pensions, and I raised it with Mr Prentice, the issue of the state pension. It's been discussed today that you might accelerate the timetable even further in terms of pushing that state retirement age up from 66 to 67 to 68, that might happen more quickly.
Well, of course, we've already accelerated the rise in the state pension age to 66. That's the subject of legislation going through Parliament at the moment. And we've said
austerity,
that we think that the issues around the later retirement ages will have to be dealt with. We've made no decision on how to do that or what the appropriate timing is. We've talked potentially about an automatic mechanism to ensure that as life expectancy increases, so does the state pension age. Those are discussions that are still going on. But it is right to say that we've taken the steps for 66, and we've said that we're going to have to look at later retirement ages as time goes on.
But are those people then who are caught up in the anomalies of just being the wrong age at the wrong time, I mean, are they just regarded as necessary collateral damage because you've got to fix the deficit? The women who have been affected, hundreds of thousands of women who have been affected by the move to 65 for them, for instance?
No, of course they're not. And Ian Duncan-Smith has made clear in the Commons that we're looking at transitional arrangements for those people, because we recognise that there is a small but significant group of the population that does have concerns. We're looking at how we could address that through transitional arrangements, and we'll come forward with proposals when we're ready to do.
It's there. It's there in the faces of the British public, but still they sleep. Who cares? Wayne Rooney scored a hat-trick at the weekend. Man City beat Wigan at the weekend. You can still buy a beer for, I don't know, less than £2. Everything's rosy. UK, wake up.